Today we're going on a garden tour. We're here in New Jersey and we're Zone 7A. Let's take a look. I thought I would make this video without a lot of editing just to show you everything that we have. Here we're building frames to cover our strawberries. We have a lot of rabbits and squirrels and tons of birds. So we really have to do a lot to keep these animals out of our garden, or we won't have a garden. So let's go out. You can see we have a lot of pollinators already started. Beautiful clematis. Right in front of us we have a cherry tree. And you can see we have the bird netting. Again, we have to keep all of these animals out because they will just decimate this tree in 1 hour. So everything is starting to get ripe, and probably in about a week we'll be able to take off these cherries. So let's go over here, and I'm going to give you a view of the front of our garden. Okay, so this is our backyard food garden. We only grow what we eat, and we only grow as much as we need. So you don't need a big garden, you just need enough space so that you get what you need out of it. Now we do give some away to our family and friends, but overall we have a little bit more than what we need. So let's go in. When you first come in, you can see this beautiful archway, and we're going to have cantaloupe, which is right here. That cantaloupe is going to grow up on this trellis and halfway over. Then on this side we have a refrigerator watermelon variety. It's a small variety. Some of these guys got hit with a cold spell and aren't looking so good, but we have replanted and we are starting to get new ones. So I'll be transplanting those along this fence. Right in front of us are 2 garden towers. These are probably the most productive things for lettuce you can put in your garden, and I'll tell you why. Up top is a composter, and as you can see I put some food scraps in there. We had some arugula that was done, so I threw some of that in there. And inside here we have 500 red wiggler worms. So I'll put the garden scraps, any food scraps in here, eggshells, and also brown leaves for carbon. And those worms, they're going to do their thing and they're going to break everything down. Then when it rains, the water comes on the top and it goes down into all these little pockets. Okay, and then down here there's a drawer. Yep. And it hasn't rained in a while, but this will fill up with all the water coming down from the tower. And because we have the worms in there, we're doing some vermicomposting. This will be worm tea, which is wonderful fertilizer that we will then put back on the top. And again, it'll go through all these pockets. Or sometimes I just dump it directly in the garden around the plants because it is such a good fertilizer. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, these are pink brandywines, just starting out. And we did start these indoors. I will be thinning these out because I want one every 18 inches because these guys are going to get huge. These are an indeterminate variety and they will get 5 feet tall. On the back row here we have some green beans. They're going to grow up this cattle panel. Here we have a golden cherry tomato, and in the back here we have some Boston picklers. which we make refrigerator pickles. And let me tell you, if you've never made refrigerator pickles, you need to do so, because these are the best pickles you can possibly eat. And I'll be making a video later. As soon as we get our cucumbers, I'll show you how to do it. This guy has been struggling for a couple months now. This is a tomato variety. The tomatoes only get the size of a pea, and I'm really hoping it makes it, because I don't have any more seeds to start another plant, and you can't just go to your garden center and get these. Again, more cucumbers in the back, all the way down. These guys are dragon beans. This is a bush variety, and they grow a purple striped bean. And I haven't tasted them yet. I heard they're very good, but I can't wait to get them. Over here, oh, you know what? I didn't even know I planted this. Oh, I've got an overgrown radish over here. I didn't even know it was there. That's what happens sometimes when you garden and you drop seeds. But here we have some dill, and we're going to grow this dill for our cucumbers so that we can use that for the refrigerator pickles. We have a couple different varieties of pepper. I know we have one jalapeno, we have a couple poblamos, and maybe 1 or 2 bell peppers also. In the back here you can see, growing like wild, are peas. And I don't know what it is in zone 7A, but we can grow peas better than anybody. These things are so healthy. I mean, look at these flowers on this thing. They are just so healthy. These vines are super thick and just beautiful. And I guess one reason is I do put compost soil around the base of the plants, and I know that gives them nice nutrients. So let's go over here. We have beautiful carrots coming up, and you know, they're still baby carrots. You're not going to see any carrots actually growing, but they're very full, they're very healthy, and these are going to produce absolutely beautiful carrots. And you know, carrot seeds are one of the harder seeds to get started. And I want to tell you that even though your seeds don't pop out in 1 or 2 weeks, don't give up on them, because here you can see I planted that seed probably about 2 months ago, and it's finally starting to come up. So, and that's what's happening. I planted these with a seed tape that I made to try to keep them evenly spaced. What happened was we really got a really heavy downpour, so the seeds kind of I had them in a nice row, but they kind of went where they wanted to be. So they are kind of spaced out a little weird, but they are spaced out far enough where I don't have to thin them out. Here we have some beautiful spinach. We have 2 different varieties, and I made garlic spinach last night, and it was just, oh man, it was just awesome. Put a little butter in the pan, put some minced garlic in the pan, and just, you know, saute the shrimp in that, and it is just wonderful. This is a kind of a funny thing going on here. This is actually a spinach plant you can see back here, but there's a pea plant that grew right in the center of it. It kind of combined, and I've never seen that happen before, but it did. And I didn't notice it until I saw that this had bolted, the spinach had bolted. But it's just so strange because it's actually a pea plant right inside of a piece of spinach plant. So you just never know. Here I have very low hopes for this broccoli. We got unusual rain this year, so this broccoli is taller than it normally would be. So I'm thinking that's just going to bolt and not form a head. But we have some beautiful cabbage here, and you know, some years you get great cabbage, some years you get great broccoli. And we do have a couple cauliflowers coming up. Here in the back we have some Italian squash and some beautiful eggplants. You can see these eggplants are really nice. And these are not your typical eggplant that are that dark purple color. These are more of a smaller variety that is more of like a pink or a light purple. And back here is something I'm really excited to see. This is a pink, here it is. I can't get to it. I'm trying to get to it. This is a pink celery. And I heard it's really good. And I heard it grows really well. In the front here, I planted garlic all along the front. And I did that mainly for pest control. That really does help. Here we have some Marzano tomatoes. San Marzano tomatoes, excuse me. And these are the tomatoes that we use for creating tomato sauce. So, making our own sauce, I can control every ingredient that goes into it. So here, I believe those are some green squash, some zucchini. I had some extra seeds and I kind of just threw them in the garden wherever. Wow, look at that, we're getting some big strawberries here. These are just some ever-bearing strawberries. These I don't really care about. I let the birds take what they want off of here. That way they leave my good strawberry patch alone, and I put a cage over that one. Those strawberries over there are Charlotte strawberries. They're a large variety, so they get very large berries, but they're very sweet. So you don't see that a lot in large berries. Sometimes you get large berries that have more of a washed out flavor, but these are much sweeter, and I can't wait to get them. So you can see our lettuce is pretty much done right now. We have been picking lettuce for weeks, and to be honest with you, if I eat one more salad, I need a piece of hamburger or something like that right now. I can't eat any more lettuce. I've been eating lettuce for 3 weeks now, and I am done. But you can see how beautiful this is. This is just such beautiful lettuce. Let me taste a piece of this. That was just delicious. Hope it didn't have any bugs on it. But this is all organic, so I'm not worried about it. And we really don't have any bugs in our whole garden. This is beautiful oregano. Now we're going to take this and dry it, and we're going to put this in some of the sauce we get from these tomatoes, and we're going to create a pizza sauce. Up here we have some beautiful bok choy, and I have a short video that shows you how to make bok choy soup, and it is absolutely delicious. A lot of people, they don't know what to do with bok choy, you know. They stir fry it, you know, they might do something else with it, but there's so many different ways you can eat bok choy. You just have to go on, you know, YouTube or Google something to find some really good recipes, because it's a very versatile vegetable. We have some beautiful radishes in here. I eat radishes because I know they're good for your heart. I don't like the taste of radishes, but sometimes you have to eat what you don't like to stay healthy. So let's go over here. Let's go out to the front. So here, I grow all of our potatoes in bags just because I don't have the space in my garden. Here we have some golden potatoes. We have a purple variety, and we also have a russet variety. And I'm looking forward to getting those. They look very healthy. Here we have, let's see, what are these? These are golden beets. And look, we have a weed. Can't have a weed. There are no weeds in my garden. There we go. Oh, another one. We can't have that. I don't like it. Golden beets are really nice. because you can make beet juice or pickle them. But what I like about them is they don't stain your clothes. And last year I had this variety over here, which this is your typical red beet. I think these are Detroit beets. And I can tell you, I was cutting those up and making smoothies out of them, and it looked like I was in a horror show. I had so much red stain on my white t-shirt. It really looked bad. Now let's see what else we got here. Okay, so in these bags up front, this is the first year I'm doing this. We're growing peanuts, or we're trying to grow peanuts. I planted these too early and the frost got to them. We had a late cold spell, kind of unusual. It was actually like after Mother's Day. So usually I'll have all my warm varieties in by Mother's Day, but that cold spell really did a number on these, and I lost some of my peanut plants, and I didn't have any more seed. So I had, these are jumbo peanuts. You can see these are doing well now. And I have some Spanish peanuts. And these are a Tennessee Red peanut. So I had a lot of Tennessee Red seeds, so I just filled in where I had to. Now I will put about 3 seeds in each bag, you know, or 4. I put 1 in the center and 3 on the outside. So you don't want to crowd these out too much. And like I said, this is an experiment this year, so maybe next year I'll go to 2 per bag, maybe 1 per bag. You know, that's all of that's the great thing about gardening. You know, you got to do some testing and you find out what works. Here we have just a bucket of asparagus. That won't be ready for another year. Have some more dill. My wife has some sunflowers in there, which I got to transplant out. And the one thing we did this year is, because I really like berries, and New Jersey is like the blueberry capital of the world. We absolutely do grow the best blueberries in the entire world. They're big, they're juicy, and we have the right sandy soil that drains very fast, and it is on the acidic side. So it's just the exact right environment for these blueberries. And when I tell you the high bush blueberry variety in New Jersey, everybody in New Jersey waits for it. It's just wonderful. So here you can see we have some blueberries. Now this is a first, I just planted these this year. I believe these bushes are 3 years old, but we did get them from a farmer locally in Hamilton, New Jersey, that grows blueberries. So these are the actual high bush variety. And among the high bush variety, there are different, you know, just like you have different beets, you have the golden beet and you have the red beet. There are different high bush blueberries. And what you want to do is you want to grow different varieties of high bush together, because you'll get a bigger yield. We're here, we might as well go over here. So nothing exciting over here. We have some yellow onions. These are like, you know, these are the staple items that you always need. Everything you cook in the kitchen, you need yellow onions. So I love onions, and I can't say much more about that. Here we have a whole box of red onions. So what we do is we'll dedicate 1 box to one thing. So this is our onion box, our yellow onions. This is our red onions. These are green onions, scallions. And I also have a zucchini growing down there. And this box we're dedicating to a very small watermelon, which it's about the size of a cantaloupe, and it's going to grow up on this cattle panel. And I've also never grown this, but again, what happened was we had a cold spell, and these actually came back. These were looking really bad. I gave these some actual fertilizer to get them back. You know, I don't use a lot of fertilizer in our garden. I use all compost, but I had to have something fast that these plants could spring back. So even though they did come back, as you can see, I had planted some brand new ones in between in case these didn't come back. Now the downside of that is I have a whole bunch of watermelon and I've got to thin them out, which I hate thinning out plants because I don't like to kill anything, or you just feel bad when you thin plants out. I can't explain it, but I'll put these someplace. Even if I have to put them out in our backyard someplace, they will grow. So that is our basic garden. I'm going to take you over to the other side because I really want to show you these strawberries. And also here in the front, I just have a large cattle panel, and I put that right up against the front here. Now I do have to put a door of some sort here. In fact, I'm going to put a fence all along this here. Okay, so there's going to be a little fence all along there because I have to enclose this thing in with wire that the rabbits can't get through. These things are relentless around here. They will jump 3 feet through a cattle panel to get to my beets. And I've done a good job this year of keeping them away, and also my dogs keep them away as well. But we don't let my dogs actually get the rabbits because that would be a little cruel. Here we have some cilantro, more oregano, and one thing I found out about oregano is it doesn't like a whole lot of water. So I didn't think it was going to grow well in this pot because I don't even have drainage holes in this pot like I should, but it grows like crazy. So there again, it's supposed to be, it goes against the rules. That's the way gardening is. You have a lot of people on YouTube, and they tell you, oh yeah, you got to do this and you got to do that, and you have to do this in your garden. That's not always true. Plants are going to do what they want in whatever zone you're growing in. So there are some general rules, but you have to do your own experimentation. And here are my prize strawberries. And I just planted these from root this year. So I did cut off some of these flowers, because if you cut off some of the flowers, you will get stronger root systems. But because I'm impatient and I can't wait to taste these things, I did leave half of the flowers on. So we have good compost soil. We're going to have a good strong root system anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. These are a day neutral variety. These are, like I said, these are Charlotte strawberries, and I believe these are from France. What I can tell you about these is they are day neutral. We will get a June crop, and they will berry all the way into the fall. So they are a little more productive than your everyday ever bearing variety. And as you can see, let's see, do I have any berries? I do. Look at that. I got some berries. I better get the cages on these things fast, because the birds will eat them when they're green. At least my birds do. Okay, let's take a tour. And I'm going to tell you, I did not plant this. This is my wife's flower garden. These are our pollinators. And I'm so proud of her because she did such a good job on this. She asked me to help her build the boxes for it, and it's going to really help our garden because it's going to attract all the bees. And I don't even know all the flowers that are in here, but I know we have some cosmos. These are cosmos here. She has to pinch those down, and so they get wider. These are zinnias and more cosmos. And then here we have different varieties of sunflowers. And my wife absolutely loves sunflowers, and they look absolutely beautiful. Yeah, she did a great job with this, and she actually put this netting down the other day to help support them. So I can't tell you a lot about the flowers because I just don't know a lot about growing flowers. Look at that. We have another culprit here. This is a piece of grass. That must leave my garden. All right. So you can see on the back side of the garden all the peas, and I even have peas growing outside of the garden. This guy's escaping, so we got to tie all these up. Other than that, we have a lot of pollinators in this yard, and it really does help. So that's all we have for today. The only other thing I have to show you is we have these pinwheels, and these do help keep the birds away. I advise you to get some, but I would get some that are more reflective. These are just yellow ones I found at the dollar store, but you want to get some that have like a metallic fleck, because that really scares them away. Alright, so that's our garden tour. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more things like this. We are going to be growing all year long and into the winter, and we hope you'll take the ride with us. Look at these beautiful flowers. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.